Krishna Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti, Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Nityalila Vishnupad, Vishnupad, Paramhamsa Parivajkachaya, Satari Shishiman, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Jai Nityalila Vishnupad, Vishnupad, Srila Gokashodas Babaji Maharaj ki Jai Nityalila Vishnupad, Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai Nityalila Vishnupad, Vishnupad, Shri Vaishnav Sarvabhauma, Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki, Sat Goswami Prabhu ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, Prem Skaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasili Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki, Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki, Jai Vrksa Yatra ki, Jai Silicon Yatra ki, Jai Radhakund ki, Navadidam ki, Vrindavadam ki, Jumanamaya ki, Bhakti ki, Vrindav ki, Tulsimarana ki, Anantakoti Vaishnavinda ki, Samaveta Bhaktavinda ki, Harinam Samkirtan ki, Jai Samaveta Bhaktavinda ki, go to Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. How glorious this some of devotees, how glorious this some of devotees, how glorious this some of devotees, how glorious is Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga Hari Hari Bo. Jai Namam Shnubadaya Keshatari.
Gita Kripa. अभी जब टेबल सर्व करूँगा रख दे अभी करूँगा धीरे धीरे इंग्लिश में ठीक है आपकी जैसे इच्छा
नहीं ऑडियंस
हाँ इंग्लिश में ठीक है फिर ये भी तो
Okay, Hare Krishna and welcome to the Bhakti Vrksa at the wonderful home of the Singhs family. And today is our lucky, very, very fortunate day because we have got two Srila Prabhupada disciples with us. We have BahuSira Prabhu here. Thus, he is he's come all the way from the Berkeley temple. So please give him a big Hari Bol to welcome him. And of course, we have our featured Vanamali Prabhu at the back.
Hi, Vanamali.
Yeah. So is that clock right?
Yes.
Okay. So what we typically do is we start with the reading sessions at 7:30. And so we still have a few minutes. Vanamali Prabhu, if you'd like to do a little kirtan for us today, the usual.
कुछ कहा आपने?
I'm talking to Vanamali Prabhu. I don't know if my voice is going all the way there.
Prabhu, she's saying something to you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Prabhu, I was saying we still have 5 minutes till 7:30. Maybe you'd like to do 10 minutes of kirtan. So that, we have these set.
Kirtan?
Yeah. If you don't mind.
Well, why not?
तो आप माता जी आप आ जाए बैठ करते हाँ
I brought the drum.
ओ कुर्सी लगा देता हूँ मैं ले आता हूँ I'll bring it. It's going to be hard for him.
Okay.
I'll bring it.
Okay, beta, aaja.
I've not seen one of those, so what type of drum is that?
पिताजी कह रहे हैं इस पे
He comes with very fancy drums every
This
time.
is a present from the African continent. I saw one similar to this several years ago, and being a ceramic artist, I tried to duplicate it. And in Africa, it's called a udu, U-D-U. And this particular design is actually in Okanga. And that's as much as I know. But I was fortunate enough to see this style at the San Francisco airport. And it was part of the Mickey Hart drum collection. Everywhere the band, the Grateful Dead went, he would find a drum and bring it home with him. And this was one of them. So, anyway.
Ceramic drum ki jai. Very nice.
Mataji, would you like me to say a few words just to introduce the program tonight?
Yeah, okay, I can do that.
I'll just stand here.
Hare Krishna, I just wanted to welcome all of you, and we feel so blessed for BahuSira ji Prabhu visiting us from ISKCON Berkeley Temple, and also Shraddha Mataji visiting us from ISKCON Silicon Valley, and to have this Bhagavad Gita class at our home, and we're so blessed to have all of you amongst us, all of you beautiful devotees, and very grateful for this evening. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And thank you so much, Prabhu, for opening your home and your heart and allowing us to come and do Krishna.
Yes, and I should thank my great parents, Mother Rukmani and Sundar Sujan,
Sundar Sujan.
for welcoming us.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. We are blessed that we have got a son who brings every program here. He brings everybody, invites.
Yes,
And he is so much devoted and attached to the temples. And 1 week, twice he visits. Sometimes Berkeley Temple, sometimes that Mountain Mode, then River Mode. Any places there are temples, he must go. And when he goes to 2-3 temples. He's so fond of San Bruno Temple, which is very close to our house. Then every fortnight they have a program in the here.
Tuesday.
South City. No, South City on Sundays, 2 Sundays in 1 month over in that school.
Gurdwara.
Gurdwara. That's what I was not getting the word. Gurdwara also we go because from parents' birth,
Heritage.
I was sick. I belong to sick. But I got my husband Sanatan this thing, and then son came to become the Krishna devotee.
Yeah,
So I have to go everywhere with him to temples, with myself to Gurdwara, and so we all go.
And actually Krishna comes in various forms depending on the mood and the tastes of people. And actually, thank you so much for bringing that up, because that's a very nice segue to our to our topic for today, which is talks about incarnations. So from this point onwards, we're going to talk about 6 different kinds of things, right?
Sure.
So last week do you remember? Anybody remember what did we talk about in the last session?
So across the road we have a Muslim family. So they are so close to us, and we have come from the Pakistan. So we did not know them, but we have stayed with Muslims a lot. So they took us to this masjid, where we have never gone, but they forcefully took us there on Eid.
Yes, very
Yes.
good. Yeah.
They said they will also come. So it is somehow, as you are saying, six.
Absolutely, this is what Krishna
Yeah.
consciousness is all
Yes,
about.
it is. Yeah.
That you have
There
to be
is only
conscious
one
of God.
God, yes.
Yeah, you have to be conscious about God. And when Srila Prabhupada first came to USA, there were some people who didn't believe in God, and there were some who were already following some religious path. And he said that I have not come here to convert you. If you are a Muslim or a Christian or whatever, and if you are following that path, I just want you to be conscious of your God in your day-to-day transactions. Right? And if you don't have anything, then here's my philosophy. If you like it, you can take it. And then, quite a few of them actually took it. Yeah.
That's why so many Christians have become his devotees, because he doesn't differentiate
Yeah.
between a
He doesn't
Christian and-
differentiate. He didn't. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
and a Sanatana. Yes. Yeah.
Because when we talk about God, I mean God, whatever religion that you propose, that you follow, they will be defining God majorly, in certain ways. And just to give you a clue, we talked about 6 opulences of the Lord last time. Do you remember which were the 6 opulences? The Lord is the most
Yes. Yes.
beautiful, very nice. So that's our Swarmata. Beautiful Swarmata to tell me about that. Okay, and then what else?
Most knowledgeable,
Most knowledgeable, very nice.
most powerful,
Most powerful,
most famous.
most famous, yes.
And wealthy, most wealthy.
Wealthy, yes, he's most wealthy. And even after having all these 5 things, what is the 6th very important opulence? He's completely renounced. Yeah, very good, right?
He's not attached to anything.
Very good. So what we're going to do is now, today we're going to talk about the 6 kinds of incarnations. And what we'll do is that we will take a round of, reading from it. And do you have a printout of this?
Yes,
You have
I have
yeah.
here.
So maybe we'll just start with you.
Oh, okay.
You could read the first
Sure.
or whatever you want.
I'll just do some introductory verses
Perfect.
that are in relationship
Perfect.
to the incarnations, because Brahma Samhita is one of the great sources the Lord Chaitanya provided for us. He brought this 5th chapter of Brahma Samhita, which you can't find anymore. We only have the 5th chapter, from South India along with Krishna Karnamrita when he was on the South Indian tour. And so he was very kind, and he brought us this Brahma Samhita, which gives the highest understanding and most detailed information on Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, Siddhant. So it's a very wonderful treatise, so I'll just be reading a few verses from there, and then we'll be reading from the 6 kinds of incarnations. So the first verse is Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. So Ishvara, Parama Krishna, he's the topmost controller in the universe, Ishvara, okay. Sachidananda Vigraha, he has this spiritual body, which is Sat, full of knowledge, bliss, and eternity, Sachidananda. And then he's also Anadir. Hi, Bo Satyamata. Oh, we're very blessed to have Satyamata come. Hare Krishna. Jai Jai. That's you came, Mata. Thank you. She worships 30-some Shalagram Shilas. Jai. Yeah, very auspicious. So thank you, Mata, for coming. And Anadir, so then also he's without beginning. And Adir, he's the origin of all. He's the oldest of all. And so then also there's a Dodvaitam, Achutam, Anadam, Anantarupam, Adyam Parana Purusham, Navayovanam Cha. You see, he has unlimited forms. He has so many unlimited forms that we're going to hear about. Simply the 6 kinds of incarnations, but within those incarnations, there's so many different categories. There's so many different divisions and so many unlimited amounts of incarnations. And also this is from, in the Bhagavad Gita, as you read Bhagavad Gita, you're going to see Prabhupada quotes one verse from the Upanishads. Tam Ishvaram Paramam Maheshwaram. Among all the controllers, he's the supreme controller out of everyone. From the Gopal Tapani Upanishad, verse 21, it says, Eko Vashi Sarvagaha Krishna Idyaha. Eko Pisan Bahudha Yo Vibhati. Shri Krishna is the controller of all controllers. And he's all pervading. Although he is one by the influence of his inconceivable potency, he manifests as incarnations who are his separated, subjective portions, and as innumerable associates who are his bodily expansions, He is the incomparable and unsurpassable reality. So all the incarnations are coming from him, which we'll read about when we read this about the incarnations. Now also from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 33rd chapter, 3rd verse, Admeshvaro Tartyaha Sahasra Shaktihi. Bhagavan alone is the soul of all. He is the controller of all, being equipped with unlimited, inconceivable powers that defy mundane reasoning. Text 35. Andandarasta Panamu Charantarashtam. So Krishna is saying that within every atom, he exists there. And then Prabhupada describes within the molecules, you'll also have a jiva soul. So there's many atoms that make up a molecule. But within every atom is Krishna. So that's why it's called Paramanuvad. Then also we have the verse 46 in Brahma Samhita. Diparchareva hi dashantarama bhupetya dipayate vivitu hetu samana dharma yastadrigeva hi cha Vishnu taya vibhati govindamadi purushantamaham bhajami. Just as when the flame of one lamp is transmitted to another lamp, the second lamp illuminates in the same way as the first lamp. Although it exists separately, so does Govinda accept the form of Mahavishnu, because we're going to hear about the different Vishnu incarnations. Reclining on the causal ocean, that Mahavishnu is the source of all the Vishnu expansions and incarnations in this world. And then of course the Bhagavatam verse, Eti Cham Sakala Pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is saying that all of the incarnations are either portions or plenary portions of himself. So then now we're going to go on, and I'll just start to read here from this. This is a very nice compilation that we have, all of us available, to read about what the subject matter is going to be about. So it says the expansions of Lord Krishna who come to the material creation are called avatars. The word avatar means one who descends, from Sanskrit avatar, avatarati, or avatari. And in this case, the word specifically refers to one who descends from the spiritual sky. In this spiritual sky, there are innumerable Vaikuntha planets. In other words, it isn't just Brahman. The Vaikuntha planets are within the Brahman, within the Brahmajyoti. And it says that, and from these planets, the expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead come into this universe. There are 6 kinds of incarnations. The Purusha avatars. Number 2, the Leela avatars. Number 3, the Guna avatars. Number 4, the Manvantara avatars. Number 5, the Yuga avatars. And number 6, the Shakyavesh avatars. Mataji. All right.
Ma'am, would you like to share your secret? Would you like to read?
Number 1.
Purusha.
Okay. So you're reading. All right. 1. Purusha avatar. Krishna first incarnates as the 3 Purusha avatars, namely the Mahavishnu, Vrksa avatara, the Garbhodakasaya avatara, and the Kshirodakasaya avatara. This is confirmed in the Satvata Tantra. For material creation, Lord Krishna's plenary expansion assumes 3 Vishnus. The first one, Mahavishnu, creates the total material energy known as Mahatattva. The second, Garbhodakasaya Vishnu, enters into all the universes to create diversities in each of them. The third, Kshirodakasaya Vishnu, is diffused as the all-pervading supersoul in all the universes and is known as Paramatma. He is present even within the atoms. Anyone who knows these 3 Vishnus can be liberated from material entanglement. From Satvata Tantra, quoted in Bhagavad Gita 7.4 purport.
Mahavishnu lies on the causal ocean, which appears in one corner of the spiritual world. He manifests the Mahatattva, or the sum total of material energy. It is into this Mahatattva that he exhales all of the seed-like universes through the pores of his skin. These seed-like universes then expand as the different material elements form coverings around them. Each of the coverings is 10 times thicker than the previous covering and form a shell-like covering. When Mahavishnu impregnates the living entities by his glance into the material nature, it begins to manifest its various energies.
When the universes have thus developed in the womb of material nature, Mahavishnu expands as Garbhodakshi Vishnu, who enters into each universe with the living entities of that particular universe and thus activates each universe by his presence. He lies down on Ananta Shesha, who lies on the Garbha ocean, which is the perspiration from the Lord's body and half fills the universe. From his navel comes a lotus bud, which is the total form of the living entity's fruitive activity. The lotus grows, dissipating the darkness of the universe. On top of the lotus, Brahma, the first living being, appears. Situated on the lotus, Brahma could not understand anything. He began entering the stem and climbed down to find its origin. Not finding anything, Brahma again returned to the top of the lotus, where he heard the word tapa, austerity. Hearing the sound, Brahma underwent penance for 1,000 celestial years, 6 by 30 by 12 by 1,000 earthly years. Being very pleased with Brahma's tapasya, the Lord manifested the Vaikuntha planets to him. Seeing Vaikuntha, Brahma became very happy and bowed to the Lord. Being very pleased with Brahma, the Lord shakes his hand and reveals how to create the universe.
So at any point we can interject?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Well, there's one point here that's very nice about how the Lord shakes his hand. Because sometimes in India, when I was living in India for 4 years, sometimes they would say, oh, shaking hand, this is a British thing. But actually you see here how the Lord is shaking the hand of Lord Brahma. And also Lord Ramachandra, he also shook the hands of another king that he met. So it's not a new thing. It's not a Western, mannerism.
And it's also confirming, it's like a confirmation of trust, that you shake somebody's hand and connect with their energy. Because you have trust in them.
To maintain the universe, Garbhodakshi Vishnu expands as the Kasi Vishnu, who is the all-pervading super soul, Paramatma. By his entry into every atom, he maintains the whole universe. His abode is Shraddha an island, Dweep, an island in the ocean of milk. Should I continue?
Yeah, you can.
Leela Avtaras. They are mainly the Dasa Avtaras, namely Matsya, the fish incarnation. He appeared to show special mercy to Satya Vrata Muni. Kurma, the tortoise incarnation. He appeared to become the resting place of the Mandara hill, used as a churning rod by the demons and the demigods to produce nectar. Varha, Sukara or the boar incarnation. He appeared to rescue the planet Earth and kill the demon Hiranyakasva. Vamana, the dwarf incarnation. Assuming the form of a dwarf brahmachari, the Lord visited the fire sacrifice of Bali Maharaja. He begged 3 steps of land, and with those steps, he took over the entire universe. He is the son of Kayasapa and Aditi. Narsimha, Kashyap and Aditi. Narsimha, the half-man, half-lion incarnation. He appeared to protect his dear devotee Prahlada and killed his demonic father Hiranyakashipu. Parshurama. Bhragupati, the son of Jamadagani, Muni and Renuka, he annihilated the Kshatriyas 21 times because of their rebellion against Brahmanas. Rama, Lord Ramachandra, son of King Dashratha and Kaushalya, He came to perform pleasing work for the demigods, protect his devotees, and kill Ravana and his followers. Balaram, the first preliminary expansion of the Lord. He acts as Lord Krishna's old brother in their pastimes in Vrindavana. Buddha, the son of Anjana. He appeared in the province of Gaya in the beginning of Kali Yuga to delude those who are inimical to the faithful. He also appeared to stop animal slaughter in the name of Vedic sacrifices by preaching non-violence and by not accepting Vedic authorities.
Oh, there's something to be said here. Is that most people, they think of Buddha as the one from Nepal, Sakyamuni. You know, he's also called Siddhartha.
Yeah.
So, and the mother was Maya, and I'm trying to remember the father's name. Suddhodana. Suddhodana. So is that these actually is that the one that's usually quoted is like 350 BC or 250 BC, but Jiva Goswami, one of the 6 Goswamis, who's a commentator of the so many different literatures, he also said that actually is that the Adi Buddha, the one who actually prevented the animal slaughter, actually appeared in 2000 BC or 1,000 years after Kali Yuga started. So that's the original Buddha.
Right.
And then all the other Buddhas, but they all got merged over time, you know, and so they don't know. Is that, but this has actually been researched. This was provided, the information was provided by, the research that was done, was provided by Prabhupada Sannyas Guru, Pragakesha Maharaj, and he wrote a whole book about it, showing the proof. And so in that way, you know, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we have to understand the difference. Now some devotees are very sensitive about that in Nepal, because they say, no, our Buddha is the one who's the Adi Buddha. But that's not the case. He was actually appeared in Bihar.
So that means that Bihar, there are 2 Bihar. There's one that speaks Bhojpuri, the other one is Telugu. So we have to know which Bihar.
Oh no, it'd be northeast Bihar.
The Bhojpuri.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So that's where he appeared. So just sharing with you.
So Maharaj, just quick question. The one.
No, I'm not a Maharaj.
Oh, sorry.
I'm a Dasa.
One quick question. The one they think that who appeared in Nepal, he actually was born in Nepal?
Yes. It's actually recorded because the wife was hanging on the tree, and they still worship the tree there that she was actually hanging on to give birth to Siddhartha. And so he actually appeared in Nepal. It isn't that he went from Bihar up to Nepal.
Okay.
So there are 2 different ones and 2 different ages.
Okay.
But they're combined. So even many Buddhists, they don't know. Even though it's in some of their literature, but if they don't look, you know, they won't know. So
And
just over time, things get lost.
This is the story that is more prevalent, that the Lord Siddhartha was born
Nobody knows
in
the other
Bihar and went to Nepal.
Oh, okay.
That's how it
Yes.
is. Oh, okay.
No, it's 2 different ones,
Got
2
it.
different histories. Yes. If
Thank
you're
you.
really interested, you can read the book, and then you can see the whole research, and then it says like, wow, because it's all provided.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
I was wondering if you'd like to, if you could also enlighten us about the Purusha avatar in the beginning, the Shiva, the Vishnus.
Oh, the Purusha avatars.
Yeah, that's
Let me keep reading, and then in the end. Oh yeah, and then in the end we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you have to complete.
Kalki, the son of Brahmana Vishnu Yasa, he will appear in the village Sambhala at the end of Kali Yuga. He will mount a horse, Devadatta, and taking his sword, will kill millions upon millions of degraded barbarian humans. During one day of Brahma, there are 25 Leela avatars.
Guna avatars, incarnation of the qualitative modes of nature. They are Brahma, Rajaguna, quote unquote, Vishnu, quote unquote, Sattva Guna, and Shiva, quote unquote, Tamaguna. Should I continue? Sure. Okay. Manvantara's avatars. There are 14 Manvantara avatars who appear during the 14 rolling period of Manus, quote unquote, Manvantaras, in one day of Brahma Kalpa. Yuga avatars, the 4 Yuga avatars are also described in Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Satya Yuga, the incarnation of God is white. In the Treta Yuga, he is red. In the Dwapara Yuga, he is blackish. And in the Kali Yuga, he is also blackish, but sometime in a special Kali Yuga, his color is yellowish, as in the case of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Once in a day of Kalpa, one day of Brahma.
Yeah.
That's when it's the same with Krishna, the original.
Should I continue?
Sure, ma.
Satyavesa avatars. There is no limit to the Satyavesa avatars. The Satyavesa incarnation are two kinds, direct and indirect. When the Lord himself comes, he is called Saksat, or a direct Satyavesa avatara. And when he empowers some living entity to represent him, that living entity is called an indirect or Avesa incarnation. Example of direct and Saksat avatars are the Sesa incarnation and the Ananta incarnation. In Ananta, the power of sustaining all planet is invested. And in the Sesa incarnation, the power for serving the Supreme Lord is invested. Example of indirect avatars are the 4 Kumaras, Narad, Prithu, Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, and Srila Prabhupada. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the incarnation of this age of Kali, as confirmed in many places throughout the Puranas, the Mahabharata, Srimad Bhagavatam, and the Upanishad. The summary of his appearance is given in Chaitanya Charitamrita, quote unquote, Sisi Madhya 6.99 as follow. Kali Yuga Lila Avatara na kare Bhagavan, Atheva Tri Yuga Kari Kahi Tara Nama. In this age of Kali, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, quote unquote, Bhagavan, doesn't appear as a Lila avatar, an incarnation to display pastimes. Therefore, he is known as Tri-Yuga. Unlike other incarnations, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appear in this age of Kali as a devotee of the Lord. Therefore, he is called a concealed incarnation, Chana Avatara, quote unquote. Discovery. What is the 6th broad classification of avatars? Understanding. In this age of Kali, there is no Leela avatar of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but there is certainly a Yuga avatar. Explain this statement.
Is that actually is Kalki and Kapila. Kalki is right on the edge of the Sandhi of the Yugas. So Kalki actually ends the Kali Yuga and brings in the Satya Yuga. And then Kapila, he's also within Satya Yuga. So that's the white incarnations. Also, there's Varaha. There's also Sukha Varaha, or white Varaha. And Mata also wanted to, we're talking about the Purusha avatars here. Because first there's Mahavishnu, who creates all the different universes. He lays down the causal ocean, like it says. Mm-hmm. Then all the universes come out of his pores. He's dreaming like that. And then Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, he enters within each universe. So Vishnu is creating the universes. He's within the universes. Then he's also on Svetadweep Island, which is a spiritual planet, a Vaikuntha planet within the material world. Then there's also, he enters within every atom, Paramanuvad, or he enters within every atom. So he's everywhere. That's why he's the witness. He's Paramatma also in everyone's heart. So it expands like that in so many different ways.
I also wanted to talk about what's called, when we read here, it is talked about Ananta Sesha. Satya Avatar. Hold on a second.
It's towards
I think you're talking about, it's right there, Mata. Examples of direct. There's Shesha right there.
Yeah,
Shesha
yeah.
Incarnation. Is that what you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah, no, yeah, the example of direct.
about? So she's gonna talk about
sex.
that.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome.
Jaho, Jaho. Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming.
Welcome.
So,
Come and sit.
who is going to be talking about
I'll give
it?
it back to you.
Are you talking about it? Are you talking about Shesha Incarnation? Are you talking about
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah. What's up?
So I was just also trying to point it out on the Sesa Incarnation is also, the Nityananda is also the Balaram. So if everybody everybody is hearing me out, but Balaram and Balaram.
Okay, we'll let everyone settle first because you got so many people coming in. It's a
So
great
you'll have to
question.
take one of these.
Hare Krishna, Mata.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming. Now we have full house.
Okay, can all of you move ahead a little? Like, can we have some space?
इधर आ जाओ, इधर यहाँ आ जाओ, जगह है, इधर आ जाओ तो और पीछे कोई और आगे आ जाओ.
Special mercy.
We'll take care of it later, no worry.
Yeah.
Mataji, go ahead now.
Prabhu is asking.
यहाँ पे आ जाओ.
No, that's fine.
आ जाओ, इधर आ जाओ.
Granti apne aap baji hai.
Okay. Sir, ठीक
To
है.
welcome them, the bell rang. Yeah, it's a good sign. Okay, Mata. Mata will continue. Yeah.
Okay, when Satya Mata here,
Satya Mata.
Satya Mata here is asking a question about Sesha.
What we are going to say is that, remember, Lord Nityananda is also Sesanag, and also Balaram Ji is also Sesanag, and Balaram Purnima is coming up. Okay, so Balaram Purnima is August 14th, and also since we're talking about Ananta, is also an Ekadasi that come, a Vrat that come, which is very well, celebrated in Mauritius, and which is called Ananta Dev. And for that also is supposed to, if anybody try to follow that route, it's supposed to help your Krishna consciousness very well. So that's,
And also there's Ananta Chaturdasi as well.
yeah, there's Ananta Chaturdasi, that is very important, that I think it go like a week or 2 weeks if somebody can do it. And it's really, really very helpful, and in Mauritius, all the young girls, all the parents will tell you, go do this, go do it. You have to do that, and which is really helpful. So that's what I wanted to bring the point.
And Prem,
And Hare Krishna, I wanted to add one thing.
Ramanujacharya,
Yes.
who's he an incarnation of?
Sri Ramanujacharya.
I'm asking you.
Please speak. But the thing
Ananta.
is, I want to say about something about Lord
Ananta.
Balaram. Yeah, I want to say something about Lord Balaram. So I received an invitation. I received an invite to Berkeley Temple. So I just informing because some people may not know or get an email. So there is a program, and maybe Mata, you can share what time it starts on August 14th at Hare Krishna Berkeley Temple. ISKCON Berkeley.
4
So
p.m.
it's 4 o'clock is going to be Abhishek.
Yeah.
So it's a Friday, it's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
So if you're working, you cannot come at 4 o'clock, but at least do come right after work, because program will go up to 7 o'clock.
Wanting people to come earlier, but also there's another point. So it's August 14th, Wednesday, August 14th, 2019, Lord Balaram's appearance day.
Yeah.
And
Please do
it's
come.
ISKCON Berkeley, 2334 Stewart Street, Berkeley, California. Hare Krishna.
Just off Telegraph Avenue.
Ja.
Jai. Thank you, friend.
Okay, so anybody is going to continue
Okay,
from application?
should I continue?
Yeah, here you go. Here you go.
Okay, thank you, Mata. Here, you can keep a copy. Okay, application 3. How can we practically recognize an avatara? Do we go to the Namamrita now, Mata? Shraddha Mata?
No, BahuSira would like to shed some light on this one.
Sorry, what?
Like how to recognize them. Because now it's new.
Oh yeah, because there's so many people. Just even there was a movie called Avatar, you know, and so it's funny because even the avatars in that movie, you know, they were blue like Krishna. You know? So it's quite funny. Now there's going to be Avatar 2, so we're going to get more of this Avatar stuff. And even there's one devotee, well, some kind of a devotee, and he's saying how to become an avatar, but that isn't the real avatar. Avatar is actually mentioned in scripture about the bodily appearance, where they will appear, and what family they'll be in, and what they'll do, you see. Just like when Parshuram came, he was telling what he would do, where he would appear, and his whole activities. So scripture actually lets you know who the avatars are, you see. Otherwise, there's much speculation about what is an avatar. You know, so it's always better that follow scripture, Shastra Yonitvat, or understanding the ultimate goal through Shastra, you see.
And
Should I continue with the Sri Namamrita or wait?
yeah, we can read. Because I think we need to go a little bit more deeper into some of the things that were talked, and and since we are so fortunate to have you here, so that's why I'm kind of again referring, because you will add. Because Mataji mentioned Nityananda, and I just wanted to point out that, you know, and the deities over here, this is Lord Nityananda, and there was a mention of Chinna Avatar, right? Towards the end, we talked about Chinna Avatar. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Chinna Avatar. And you did mention that he comes in a special kalpa, so we can...
Yeah, he comes once in a day of Lord Brahma, which is a kalpa, which is 4,320,000,000 years. So that's the original. That's the original Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's the original Lord Krishna. Comes at that time. So this is actually a very auspicious time that we're living in, even though it appears to be very, polarizing with all the political activity and the friction of war around the world. But actually within this Kali Yuga, there's a golden age within Kali Yuga, you know. And in that way, you can chant 108 beads, you know, on your fingers. Then also is that at home is that it's very simple. There's no meat eating. You see, because I'm noticing now, because I associate with a lot of different devotees, you're seeing now that a lot of people, they're eating meat because they're in the Western country. And actually, but luckily, there's been actually different personalities or scholars who are showing is that actually meat eating is not justified in the Vedas. Because actually, as some people try to say, they have a motive, they try to say meat eating is justified in the Vedas. But actually the scholars have actually researched and showing that this meat, quote unquote, this mamsa, is not beef. Now another thing has come up in India where the one politician transportation, not transportation, anyway, he was talking about how the only sacred cows in India are Gur, G-H-U-R, Gur cows. But actually, as a Srila Prabhupada, he actually wanted to take the brown Swiss to Mayapur and their quality of milk. Is that Srila Prabhupada, he understood this totally. Actually is that when you go into the DNA, actually is that all these cows are all related. So it isn't that you have a Jersey cow that's supposed to be, some are saying it's an incarnation of a pig and an antelope, or a blue cow as they call it in Vrindavan. It's actually an antelope. This is not the case. This is propaganda that was started by Christians and Muslims. So the thing is that a simple Vedic life, you don't bring pain to any living entity. You know, sometimes you see the cockroach in your house and you go, oh boy, you know. but you're not supposed to. You're supposed to be very kind. I know it's hard. Pick them up, put them out. Prabhupada said, stop this squishy business. You know, because, you know, we like to do that with spiders and everything. But they also feel pain. So the thing is that to become humble, we also have to stop the squishy business. I know it's hard. I'm not a perfect example. But the thing is that we have to try. The whole point of Krishna consciousness is to elevate yourself up. And then it's a gradual process, you see. So in the beginning it's a little bit hard, but the thing is that the no meat eating, in the beginning it might seem to be a little bit hard, but if you're determined, it's not hard. It's so easy now to be vegetarian. When in the late 60s, when I started being a vegetarian, even before I became a devotee, it was very, very, very hard. But now you have vegetarian everything, you know, so it's not hard to be a vegetarian, you see. And it also keeps your consciousness higher. Because the thing is that meat and things like that they ground you more. And it's very hard to understand intricate philosophy if one is not vegetarian. And then also is that the drinking of alcohol, taking intoxicants, all these things also invite unwanted spirits in Kali Yuga. See, the thing is that it's stated in Garuda Purana that actually before Kali Yuga there was very few ghosts. But in Kali Yuga there's ghosts everywhere now. And they come and they attach onto people. That's sometimes what you say. You see people, they get intoxicated and they're a totally different person. Because they have these subtle beings that are attaching to them, trying to enjoy through their body. Parasites. So the thing is that we want to get away from this. We want to elevate ourselves. We don't want to keep coming back to this planet of Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, birth, death, disease, and old age. We want to actually go to the spiritual world. We want to become purified. And there you can live eternally, an eternal life of bliss and happiness. And then also, no gambling. Gambling is a very severe type of contamination. Is that because I work with Kaiser, I retired from Kaiser, but I worked with Kaiser for so many years. And we had one person there, and actually is that he won $36,000, and then he got hooked, and he kept gambling and gambling. He lost his house, he lost his wife, everything. He was penniless. And so the thing is, he needed therapy because it becomes addictive. So this is another reason why it's a vice. Look at what happened to King Yudhisthira, too. He lost everything. He even lost his own wife. So the thing is that this is part of the problem of the whole thing of gambling, you see. So we have meaning, illicit sex. The thing is that there's so many diseases now that people can get from illicit sex. And the thing is, in the end, there's misery anyway, you see. So the thing is, it's good to try to do what your parents did. You marry a good man or a good woman. It's always good to check their astrology. And then the thing is that it's an austerity. It's not this, oh, it's so easy. It's very hard to stay married. So then together you go ahead in Krishna consciousness. You try to apply these simple principles in your life. Otherwise your kids are going to give you misery when you get old. You go, oh my God, my kids have become like animals. You know, you don't want to have to go through that. That's why Krishna consciousness is here. This is why we have these Gita programs. So people can actually have an opportunity to hear these things and apply them to their life. Because we're getting bombarded by so much stuff from the radio, from the TV, from Netflix, you know, so many different things, the movies. So we're at hard. If an ungrazy like me, coming from a background, can take to Krishna consciousness, all of you are coming from very good backgrounds. You can easily apply Krishna consciousness. It's not hard. And it works. That's the nice thing. And it's easy. You just have to apply. So Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I also just wanted to add one line, humbly, which is that also I think it's good to preach to preach them about vegetarianism, and also to go to the temple to these programs that happen, like say Rath Yatra or Snan Yatra or Lord Balaram's Appearance Day, or any program, and regularly visit the temple, and also try to have them read maybe the Bhagavad Gita or read with them, so that they're encouraged to follow this path. But also vegetarianism being very important, because you're setting that culturally they can continue the tradition, you know, family tradition and the dharma, you know, practice their dharma. Yeah.
The thing is that our ego, our ahankara is so big. So when you go to the temple, you actually have to bow down.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, everyone's going to be looking at you. Well, you're not bowing down to the Lord, you know. So there's some humility involved when you go bow down. You're accepting a higher authority. But our ahankara is that I don't have to bow down to anybody. Maybe my parents, so I can get some money. But the idea is that to go to the temple and recognize God, recognize a higher authority. Because we have to do it anyway. We have to do it with our boss, right? We have to do it with our other co-workers. Otherwise, there's friction and fighting, and nothing gets done. So is that we have to that way. We have to recognize some authority. Even when we go to college, you have to accept the teacher as authority, you won't get a good grade. You know, if you're arguing with the teacher all the time and battling because of our ego, then you won't get your grade right. So it's easier to start from the top, from the beginning, with Bhagavan, surrendering to Bhagavan, and then everything else is so much easier down the line, because you learn humility from the start with the biggest personality, Bhagavan, and then from there it goes on down. You see?
I want to add one thing to
Yes, Mata.
When you bow down, Krishna will look at you. But when you're just standing like that, you're on the same level as the Lord will not pay attention to you as much as when you bow down, the Lord will say, my devotee is bowing down to me. And just like when your parents, you bow down to your parent or to your elders, they look down and they give you the blessing. So that's the same way, Krishna, when you're bowing down, Krishna will look at you and he will give you his blessing.
And then shake your hand probably.
Like we were reading, shaking the hand.
So I was just thinking that if there are questions on incarnation, then we have this wonderful opportunity of having Prabhupada disciple here. Otherwise, we can go through the number. Because I'm also thinking that a lot of devotees join much later and we could talk a little like in the next section. But if you have questions or comments on the incarnations, please feel free. And if not, then we can go to the next section.
Okay, the
What do you
next
say?
portion is the
Sri Namamrita.
Oh, Jai.
Just on the next page. Yeah, I was just thinking that you'd love to
Jai.
talk on Namamrita as well, right? Yeah.
Should I read?
Yes, please.
Okay. Lord Sri Krishna personally came as Lord Chaitanya in order to distribute the process of chanting, the easiest means in this age to the highest perfection of life. Out of many thousands of persons who are in self-knowledge as to what and who they are, only one or two may be actually liberated. And out of many thousands who are liberated, only one or two may understand what and who Krishna is. So understanding Krishna is not such an easy job. Thus in this age of Kali, an age characterized by ignorance and chaos, liberation is out of the reach of practically everyone. One has to go through the whole ordeal of becoming civilized, then religious, and then one has to perform charities and sacrifices, and come to the platform of knowledge, then to the stage of liberation, and finally, after liberation, to the understanding of what Krishna is. Practically speaking, this process is not very easy in this age of Kali. In Srimad Bhagavatam, a description is given of the people of this age. The duration of life is said to be very short. They tend to be phlegmatic and slow and to sleep a great deal. And when they're not sleeping, they're busy earning money. At the most, they only have 2 hours a day for spiritual activities. So what is the hope of spiritual understanding? It is also stated that even if one is anxious to make spiritual progress, there are many pseudo-spiritual societies to take advantage of him. People are also characterized in this age as being unfortunate. They have a great deal of difficulty meeting the primary demands of life: eating, defending, mating, and sleeping. Necessities which are met even by the animals. If the people are meeting these necessities in this age, they are always anxious about war, either defending themselves from aggressors or having to go to war themselves. In addition to this, there are always disturbing diseases and economic problems in Kali Yuga. Therefore, Lord Krishna considered that in this age it is impossible for people to come to the perfectional stage of liberation by following the prescribed rules and regulations. Thus, out of his causeless mercy, Sri Krishna came as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and distributed the means to the highest perfection of life and spiritual ecstasy by the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare This process of chanting is most practical. It does not depend on whether one is liberated or not, or whether one's condition is conducive to spiritual life or not. Whoever takes to this process becomes immediately purified. Therefore, it is called pavitram, pure. Furthermore, for one who takes to this Krishna conscious process, the seeds of latent reactions to his sinful actions are all nullified. Just as fire turns whatever we put into it to ashes, this process turns to ashes all the sinful reactions of our present lives. Rajavidya, the king of knowledge. It's a small booklet. It's still in print. You can actually read it. It's very nice. And so this is why Prabhupada is saying is that the chanting of Hare Krishna is very easy. Madram madrebyopi, mangalebyopi mangalam, pavanam pavanebyopi, harinam eva kevalam. More sweet than all other sweet things. More auspicious than all other auspicious things. The greatest purifier of all purifying things. The holy name of Shri Hari alone is everything. And it's so cheap. It's just, your heart, your desire. And it's yours. Jai.
Thank you.
So also, Mata, I shared earlier with BahuSira Prabhu when he was visiting earlier today in the morning. And I just wrote a little something about Bhakti Yoga and what it includes, just so that everybody has that information and to share it. And for me personally, I experience it as a superior yoga system because it gives myself and others who practice it many options, which is, you're practicing Sankirtana Yajna, so you can do Sankirtan on the streets and chant the holy name of the Lord. You can also service, like we have beautiful Mother Satya making a garland right now.
No, necklace.
This is devotional service. And then deity worship. Also, there is opportunity to read and share the scriptures with others, family, friends, and those that you meet, acquaintances. Also, one can meditate on the form of the Lord and practice yoga, physical yoga as well, chanting japa, and also transcendental dancing, the ceremony and the procession, and also at the temple during festivals and programs. And also being humble in one's life and considering oneself as the servant of the Supreme Lord always. Jai.
Thank you for sharing.
And you mentioned a couple of times about reading and the Bhagavad Gita. So I just wanted to point out that we have got some Bhagavad Gitas here.
Full box,
Okay, that's just a display. He has a full box.
Also, just one thing, we also have this Raja Vidya book today.
You have that?
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
It's a very wonderful.
Towards the end of the program, we're going to set up a table in the back with all the books.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one last, we also have Srimad Bhagavatam in Hindi language.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
One sec. One sec.
Yeah.
Prabhu, 1 second. When you said the Bhagavatam, can you share? Maybe Mataji can share.
Yeah, let man do it. He'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Srimad Bhagavatam is the Granth Avatar. So Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna himself. It is described in the scriptures. There are 12 skandhas or 12 cantos in Srimad Bhagavatam. And has the most elaborate description of Krishna's pastime, more than 90 chapters since the time he was born. And it has everything, for all ages and people, like even for small children, there are so many nice stories. There is the highest philosophy, spiritual knowledge available in Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's very auspicious. As I mentioned, the biggest thing is that having it in the house is having Krishna himself in Granth Avatar Roop. And just having the whole set in your house is very, very auspicious. It has very nice pictures. You can show them to the kids and you can tell them the stories. If your parents come, they can read it. You can read it yourself.
Thank you for sharing.
So we can go to the next section. Sharing is the essence. Yeah, maybe we can. Anybody else wants to read? You can volunteer to read. You can read from the audience. You want to read? Who wants to read? You want to read, Mother? Do you want to read?
Mother, will you read? Okay. Yeah. That one, which is the last page.
This one?
Let me see.
Sharing is essence.
Yes. That's it. Thank you.
Share the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and then share your experience with the group. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement is meant for making people happy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most benevolent personality in human society because his only desire is to make people happy. This Sankirtan movement is especially meant for the purpose of making people happy. Preaching Krishna consciousness is showing real entities. If a living entity is developed in Krishna consciousness and is merciful to others, and if his spiritual knowledge of self-realization is perfect, he will immediately attain liberation from the bondage of material existence. In this verse, the word Daya Jivesu, meaning mercy to other living entities, indicates that a living entity, if he wishes to make progress in self-realization, this means he must preach this knowledge after preferring himself and understanding his own position as an eternal servant of Krishna. Preaching this is showing real mercy to living entities. Other types of humanitarian work may be temporarily beneficial for the body. But because a living entity is a spirit soul, ultimately one can show him real mercy only by revealing knowledge of his spiritual existence. Bhagavatam 4:29, 1b. This passage is from that.
Hare Krishna.
And the first one was, there were two paragraphs. The first one is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi 9:5. And the other one
Thank you, Mataji.
Maybe they can do 5 mantras together because a lot of them didn't have a chance to do.
So Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll say it together. Because you see it on your paper here, the Hare Krishna mantra, we were just reading it.
Yes.
So if you don't have it in your mind, you can look at the paper. Okay, it's under the Rajavidya King of Knowledge, near the bottom, the last paragraph. And we'll say it together 5 times?
Yes.
Okay, 5 times we'll say it together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai, holy name ki jai. And so you see how wonderful it is, how simple it is. And you can sing to your children like this. You know, you can rock them and sing Hare Krishna to them. They love to hear it. And Hare Krishna, I used to do it for my daughters, makes them go to sleep. And also just even when you're walking anywhere, you're walking in the park, you can also be saying Hare Krishna. You know, it's very peaceful. It creates a nice atmosphere around you and around the whole area. And Prabhupada said the trees are getting benefit, the grass is getting benefit, all these different living entities, the fish in the water, everyone's getting benefit. The animals, the raccoons, the chipmunks benefit from hearing this holy name. Because in Kali Yuga, we have to try to purify the atmosphere. Because the atmosphere is so contaminated. Now that 5G is coming, 5G is going to even contaminate the atmosphere even more. So it's very important to do this Hare Krishna mantra wherever you go. So thank you everyone. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
So, yes, then we have come to the most interesting part where we lead the they are at the last page.
Sarira Vijjata Tadindriya Teka Jivamale Visaya Sagare Tamade Jivati Lobamaya Sadurmati Take Tata Katina Samsare Krishna Baradoima Kari Bora Jiva Joy Swapasara Dilabai Sayamrita Pao Radha Krishna Gunagao Premadako Chaitanya. Then you may want to keep going because I know in ISV they have a whole.
Oh no, this is mine too.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So
yes,
yeah, tomorrow.
It's a Mahadwadasi, yes.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. So I'd like to once again thank the Singh family for opening up their home and hearts, and to all of you devotees who have come here to participate in this Bhakti Vrit. And a special thank to BahuSira from the Berkeley Temple for leading the discussions today and the beautiful arti that we had. We are broadcasting this program on Facebook, my Facebook page. So also thanks to all the audiences, all of the devotees who are in the audience and watching us online. And I'm sure you'd like to, for those of you who came in late and missed the wonderful discourse and explanations in the arti by BahuSira Prabhu, we'll be happy to make the recording available to you.
Also, Mataji, I wanted to say two things. As I shared my gratitude for both of you, I also wanted to give gratitude. We have from the local Sanatan Mandir, San Bruno Temple, we have the wife of our priest.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Sheila Mataji, Maharaj's wife, our priest.
I didn't get the name.
मदर का नाम बताइए आप सबको वही मैंने बताया बट आप बोलेंगे तो ज्यादा and also we are very pleased that Mother Satya has joined us today from Bhakti Temple. Hare Krishna. And also we are very pleased that Nalini ji has come. And she is the charioteer of for my mother. They both go to the Bhagavad Gita class at San Bruno Temple when they do it from the ISKCON mountain.
I have met her.
Yeah, of course. She attends every class and they both go together to the San Bruno Temple. Yeah. So she's the driver charioteer.
and Sarojini, she always takes very good care of her, drives her up and down Shilari, everywhere. And this is Rashmi.
Yeah, and I have another elder sister, Rashmi Didi, aake khade ho jaiye, that is visiting from Hayward.
Hare Krishna.
Our neighbor.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Swami Mataji.
ये जो है गीता जी चौधरी, ये इतनी great devotee है, इतनी great है, I have no words to tell you. Every now and then she has a program in her house, and she has a very big house and very nicely, बहुत अच्छे से organize करती है. हमारा तो कुछ नहीं उसके सामने ऐसे पानी की तो आप खड़े तो नहीं. पति पत्नी और दो इनकी बेटियां और एक बेटा है. ऐसे प्रोग्राम ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं कि हम देखते रह जाते हैं.
And two more, Sunil ji, you have to introduce Bhaiya ji here. And the pizza, they brought the pizza also. Introduce.
Oh yeah.
ये family भी ऐसे ठीक नहीं है.
ये
हमारे लिए पिज़्ज़ा लाए हैं आज.
सोचा है पता नहीं सोचा है. पर मैं ऐसा सोचती हूँ कि आज ये यहाँ से जरूर मन में ले जाएंगी, पति से बात करेंगी और आपका प्रोग्राम ऐसे मुझे पहले से दिख रहा है इनके घर में होगा. इनके घर में 500-400 से ज्यादा कम लोग नहीं आते और उसमें आयोजन करते हैं और पता नहीं कहाँ से लोगों को बुलाते हैं. लोग बाहर दूसरी स्टेट से भी आते हैं.
अच्छा, ये मेरे ये सिंह फैमिली
from San Francisco.
From San Francisco. He has a pizza restaurant. He has brought something.
Thank you.
My friend here, Dinesh,
because they have come from far. Dinesh ji has come from San Jose side, so you know.
And this is Gupta ji family.
Yeah, they are from
Yeah, he lives in South San Francisco. So we all are here and we have good environment today.
Please do come to our temple.
Oh,
Okay,
sure.
that's more important.
Where is your temple?
Oh, yeah. Berkeley.
It's in Berkeley. Berkeley.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Rama, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mandir. Hare Krishna Mandir.
एक और है हरे कृष्णा खड़े हो जाओ ये जो सेवा करते हैं ना इनके पास एक लिमोजीन की कंपनी है तो इस साल 2 लिमोजीन वहाँ पर इन्होंने उनको ले गए
रथ यात्रा में सेवा
जगन्नाथ जी को इनके गाड़ी में ये ले गए
गाड़ी में गए थे
और भी पीछे से
The deities went from Berkeley temple to Rath Yatra in their limos.
एक होती है और भी पीछे से कि वो उनको प्रोटेक्ट करती चले और रास्ते में अगर कुछ हो गया तो एकदम से दूसरी तैयार है तो एक नया ही जो है ना बहुत बढ़िया और पानी की वहाँ सेवा भोजन दे और रात को हमारे मंदिर में इन्होंने सारी पूड़ियाँ इन्होंने इधर सजावट मंदिर हमारा जो है सेंट ब्रूनो का उसमें जाके और बहुत ज़्यादा लोग भी नहीं पहुँचे ये एक इनका फ्रेंड राजू गुप्ता वो पता नहीं आज क्यों नहीं पहुँचा है दोपहर से पता नहीं शाम से दोपहर से पढ़ानी शुरू की 3 बजे घर गए 5 बजे वहाँ पहुँचना था सोए नहीं
So a wrath will come for him and take him back to the spiritual world. Hare Krishna.
जाने की तो बाद में देखी जाएगी
अच्छा एक आखिरी चीज आप कह रहे हैं राजू गुप्ता इनके फ्रेंड है हम सभी के फ्रेंड हैं हम सभी जानते हैं
मतलब मेरा था कि इनके साथ उन्होंने आयोजन में सहयोग किया इस कारण से फ्रेंड तो वो सबके हैं वैसे लोग तो होते हैं ना
Praveen Prabhu, thank you so much for the card, for the limo, but decorated very well.
So did we miss out on anybody? I think we didn't hear some of the names there. So maybe if you can just go round robin and they can just announce their names. That would be yeah. Cross conversation.
Very spiritual kids. बहुत हरे कृष्णा की ऐसी स्टार की रोज मंदिर में जय हो करता है आदि करता है तो वो घर बार छोड़ के और अपना कृष्णा के पीछे ऐसे सड़कों में हरे कृष्णा
Vanabhata Prabhu that is at every Gita class, right? I've seen him at every class. Yeah. And Suman Mataji and Prabhu here at every class. Hare Krishna. Yeah, coming from San Mateo. Yes. Yeah.
Did you cover all of them?
Huh?
Did you cover all
Yes.
of them?
Yes. Oh yes.
I didn't see the
Sunilji.
the yellow.
and his wife.
Yeah.
That's the pizza family.
नहीं इनको भी Dinesh ji's wife.
Sujata.
And little girl is missing right now.
Oh, how did you know?
Please. इनका सुमन माता जी आप इंट्रोड्यूस कराएंगे ना?
Oh, I do not know her.
अच्छा.
This is Smita.
Sorry.
Daughter is not here today.
Yeah.
She's a great girl. Yeah. She also comes to our temple and in home also she does seva. और इनके आगे बारी लगेगी बेबी बहुत अच्छी होती है इनके अभी सब पहुँचेंगे
इनको नहीं किया
सिल्वा जी के लिए हो गया सिल्वा जी इनके ना इनकी वो है सैन फ्रांसिस्को में बहुत बड़ी पिज़्ज़ा की कंपनी जब भी कोई आयोजन हो बिल्कुल शुद्ध पिज़्ज़ा बनाते हैं और उसमें शुद्ध वेजिटेबल्स डालते हैं तो कहीं भी ऐसा आयोजन होगा तो वहाँ पे ये पहुँचा देते हैं और कोई मतलब वो नहीं लेते हैं
For the function. Yeah.
Thank you.
Order your pizzas from there. Mother, Mata ji, आप पिज़्ज़ा के नाम बताइए लेकिन people should know.
Brothers Pizza.
Brothers Pizza. Okay.
Brothers Pizza.
San Francisco. What street?
It's Sunset area.
Sunset area.
Charabal.
शिखा इनका नाम है
मैं इंडिया से आई हूँ घूमने के लिए इधर
स्मिता आंटी हूँ।
एक्चुअली मेरे हस्बैंड यहाँ नहीं है तो मेरी बेटी का ध्यान इनकी बेटी रख रही है, तो मैं इनको लेकर आई हूँ कि आपका ध्यान मैं रखूंगी, मेरी बेटी का ध्यान आप मुझे लगा बच्चे तंग करेगी तो उसने कहा कि मैं ध्यान रख लूंगी। मैंने कहा मैं आपकी माता जी का ध्यान रखूंगी।
मैं भी बहुत खुश हुई सबसे मिलने का।
तो ये इंडिया से आए हुए थे तो
इधर मेरा बेटा बेटी है, मैं आता है शादी 1 साल 1.5 साल के बाद।
कहाँ से आप इंडिया में?
वो चैतन्य देव का घाट तो हमारा घर के ज्यादा दूर नहीं है।